Ooh, that's a good sign. So I just got a couple things buttoned up. I don't have the cooler on yet. Just want to make sure it boots. Put the GPU back in just to have a video device. We've got our Aura Sync lighting just going. Yay. And let's see what happens. Oh, my GPU should be, there it goes. First time boot. Guess it's going to take a second. That's new. I don't have any drives plugged in either. Total memory. There are 3 keyboards. Alright. Set it up to recover BIOS settings. CPU fan error. I don't have one of those. Recognizes, so the memories, we're going to have to overclock the memory. But everything else is good, so let's get into setup real quick. I've got like 30-45 seconds before it's going to yell at me for, yeah, see where it's climbing to 67 already. Alright, so it's working. Just power that bad boy right off, and we'll start installing some shit. Hardware wise, we are more or less back together. Got the cooler on. Not my best thermal paste application by any stretch of the imagination, but it's working in some cramped conditions. Cable management is, I wasn't going to really do it, but it's already there, so I didn't have to do anything. So hopefully we get Windows booted and it doesn't even care that we switched out basically the entire core hardware of the system. That's more like it. Apparently the label is not exactly where I think it should be, but oh well. So that's not spinning. That's unfortunate. Let's see if it boots. The LEDs are cool on the RAM. We might have to fix that like real quick. We'll see if, as long as we get into Windows, I'll be happy, and then we're out to do something about that. Come on, go, 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 go. I believe we're in business now. In my very quick cable management, I unplugged this and that, which is the master control as well as an individual fan for the radiator. Sounds like the liquid's all settled in, so we should be good to go. Setting up our BIOS and booting into Windows. We'll see how that works. Okay, now hopefully it will be setting up device. I'm not going to overclock anything. I'm not going to do anything right now until I make sure the system boots in and we're good, and then I'll pull up all the RGB utilities and put it at high frequency, all that good stuff. It wasn't too bad. This case is pretty easy to build in, fortunately. I do dig the RAM more than I thought I would. It's still cheesy looking, and I don't like the motherboard all that much glowing, but I honestly think an RGB GPU might be kind of cool. Much as I hate to say that out loud. Now that's a beaut right there. USB-C separator. Okay, I don't have like half my stuff plugged in. Got to figure out some USB-idge type stuff. But let's click on Task Manager. Make sure everything. I want to see my overclock. Everything's stuck here. Yep, everything's good on there. Oh baby, look at that! And it's already turboing. It doesn't even need overclock for that. That is 12 fucking threads. Man. That's a beautiful sight. We're running only 2133 on the memory, so it is time to do a little bit of OCing. Everything's pretty much hunky-dory. I'm downloading some games. I reformatted the other drive to be literally just a Steam drive. I'm pretty confident in the SSD integrity. In fact, I'm going to move over a lot of the games that are installed there. And it'll be pretty much on our way. I've got the base clock, everything turned up. We are at, not the base clock, the turbo frequency. We are at 5 gigahertz, although this rounding is wrong. We're also targeting, I don't think it's going to say here, we're targeting 3200 megahertz. It's hitting it. And yeah, it's just showing load over here. But according to BIOS, we're good, so that's cool. I will give you a sneak peek. Let's see if I can get the same score here while downloading. Well, there it shows it. 1597. Hell yeah. That crushes what I got earlier. So even though there's only 4 more threads, the IPC improvement is so significant that it gave me that big of a boost. So that's over double, by the way. Very cool. So I'm gonna go back to downloading games, and I want to test out a couple things here while we've got it set up. I need to download some utilities, and I need to set up the power play. I need to put away all these freaking boxes I got going on. Starting to get some stuff straightened out, but there's a lot of shit in here. So yeah, good productive day overall. So I literally just walked through the door. It's a Friday afternoon, not even had time to take a piss yet, and this box greets me at the door. A bit surprising, because I think I know what this is, but this shouldn't be here yet. And that eBay little sticker there kind of confirms it for me. So let's go ahead and open her up. Oh, the suspense is killing me. Look at that. This is 2, 3. Yep, this is what I thought it was. What the hell? What the hell? How did this get here so fast? I literally just ordered this. Huh. I was, this is one of those things, it's like, I'm glad it's here, but I planned my weekend activities around this not being here. So I was going to play try to marathon through a game series, actually, that would not require this much horsepower, but I guess that's what we're doing, is, we're going to be doing a little bit of different stuff tonight. There we go. That is the Twin Fan EVGA 1080 Ti. Got this one for a pretty decent price. I paid about $525 with shipping included, and by the time I sell off my current GPU and a couple other little miscellaneous things that came off the build, then I'll actually only have spent about the price of this GPU, plus a little, maybe the price of this GPU, the price of the motherboard in total for the upgrade, which is not too shabby. I think it'll be interesting once we run the numbers. But yeah, I went ahead and sold off a bunch of other stuff, so this didn't hurt as bad. I'm going to wash my hands, and then we'll open it up and take a look at it and under a little bit better conditions here. Really, there's only a handful of important questions running through my mind at this time. Number one, will it look as cool sitting in the PC? Number two, will Aorus Sync also synchronize the RGB LEDs on here? Because the last thing I want to do is install even more RGB bloatware. The stuff that's on there is working all right. Oh, I got to show you this stuff. That'll be in a bit. But you know, this is the first time I've not gone with a blower GPU on modern stuff, at least. And I'm sure I'll be happy about the noise and all that. The reference cards aren't that bad, in all honesty. What is that? Oh, it's a splitter. Try to avoid using those. I don't need to. So we won't be using that. Wow, that's pretty. Oh yeah. I can dig that. Probably need to zoom out to get all the goodies in here. Nice backplate, which is something I don't have right now on my current card. Everything's blocked off that I won't be needing, except for, yeah, we'll take out the HDMI. We'll be needing that one. Come on out. Thank you. So that's cool. Nice. This is pretty good. The ICX cooler is a really good design. This has hardware monitoring that basically switches on and off fans as needed, so it'll be like, and ramps them up and all that good stuff. So it'll be fairly quiet, and same power configuration, 6 plus 8 as my current GPU. So it's pretty baller. Let's get this thing installed, see how she looks. That's a tough one. That is a tough one indeed. With the all-white scheme, that looks better than the reference cooler. Then see the 1080, the TI from there. I might have to move this cable up a little bit. You gotta be able to see the goods. But yeah, I think it'll take some time for this design to grow on me. But that's a sexy ass cooler, so I'm down with it. Currently the most painful step of the process, which is waiting for the drivers to install. Woo! But long live the king again. Beautiful card as of recording this video, not necessarily as of this video going up, but probably as of this video going up. This is not sold, nor has the motherboard and all that good stuff. So again, offers are open. I'd rather it go to someone that's like, well, need is a strong word, but you know, where that would make a bigger difference in someone's life. So yeah, guess we'll wait on this thing to install, and we'll get rolling on some benchmarks. Maybe some light overclocking. I need to bump up the voltage on my CPU. I've had it downclocked a little bit just for safety, and be interesting to see the results. As right now, it's pretty much dead silent. Of course, anything is dead silent compared to the AC running in the background. So I made a couple tweaks in the BIOS, and hopefully we're a little bit more stable on the system. No guarantees. This is literally a trial by fire. See, it does recognize what we're at though, which is cool. So I'm not going to, let's just see what it'll do out of the box. Let's just see, then we'll tweak it from there. And then after I feel like we're more or less stable, I'll start some benchmarks on some other stuff. The unfortunate thing is I realized I forgot to do my, well, I didn't forget, I fucked up my rendering test on the base system because I accidentally deleted all the local files when I was transferring over, and that means that it had nothing to render. Like, I was referencing files that no longer existed, so it was kind of screwed. I don't exactly know how I can objectively compare it for video rendering anymore, but it will be obvious as far as, well, it's already obvious as far as the snappiness goes, just because of the 8700K alone and the RAM and all that. So that might not be in the final results, unfortunately, but everything else will. And I'm probably could extrapolate based off of some past experience. So this is a time and a half less than 4K, but we can still draw a few conclusions off of it. Make sure that took. It never like says it does. All right, cool. Dynamic resolution's off. Frame rate's lock. Enable frame rate lock. Yep. All right. So we'll run El Benchmarko and see what it does. I'm expecting 90s. I'm hoping 80s to 90s, and then an overclock should push us over that threshold. Again, it may scale worse this way. It may scale better, but we put it on a 4K TV, we'll know for sure. All right, pretty garbage right now. Oh, dipped to 44. I wonder if when it says double, if it actually means quadruple. I wonder if it means double in both directions. Because if this is only, well, let's say only 1536p ultra wide, that's not all that great. But I do have a fairly high anti-aliasing enabled. It looks fucking amazing, so I can't fault it too much. That was lower than I expected though. Now if this is ultra wide 4K is what it's actually displaying, then I will be floored. But I don't know if that's the case. Okay, that's a little bit more like it. So this is just regular ultra wide with TAA on. I think maybe SMAA was absolutely wrecking our shit. And this looks great. This looks absolutely great. So 1440p, I was playing at locked 60 with a few drops. What's 1440 over 1080? That's 1.33. So if we turn this up to 1.4, which I will do now, then we should be able to see a fairly analogous test to the actual increase if I were just playing in regular, just pixel count. But that doesn't necessarily translate to 16 by 9. Of course, all this is preliminary. I'm just getting an idea of what this thing should look like, and I'm running numbers in the background. So that's a good 50% increase, if not more, depending on the area. That's a pretty good drop, but that's still pretty nice. Okay, that I can get behind. So let's check and see what we got up to. Core clock 19. Holy shit, this card is fast. Of course, 1 megahertz here is not near as powerful as a megahertz on Maxwell, but wow, That's badass, and it's using the GPU pretty much 100%, which is cool. It drops. Well, it looks like it's dropping during loading. Duh. Well, that seemed to hold more or less. We're going to try our good old Witcher test just to get an idea. Make sure our frame rate is on. Up there. Yes, very nice. And then once I'm more or less comfortable with the way it's running, then I'll play it for a little while, and we'll go through the actual benchmarks. But as of right now, I would definitely say it's a worthy upgrade. Whether it's necessary for everyone, or even I don't think it's going to be rock solid for 4K. It's not going to 4K 60 everything, especially new stuff. Holy shit, that was fast. Oh boy. Now that makes me happy. Over 100 FPS in ultra wide 1080. Woo! That's good shit right there. We're gonna try out Quake TDM here. I've got 200 resolution, or 200% resolution scale, which is about, it's not 4K, but it's better. It's a better approximation than not. 2 times 1.3. What is that? Yeah, so we're still fairly shy of 4K Ultra, but still, this should give us a bit better look into how this would play. And this is how I would play Quake. This is actually a really good test because I don't plan on getting rid of this monitor anytime soon, and there's going to be plenty of games where like this is fine. I bought this GPU, this setup for 4K 60, but there's plenty of stuff that I'd like to play at 75 Hertz and above that it'll be good for this application. So this is actually a better test than it may come across for this GPU. We are still at a magnanimous 77 FPS, which is pretty sweet. Definitely not as high as I would like it, just for the comfort zone. You can see a little bit of tearing, and I gotta turn up the mouse sensitivity for this, since I've not played this game, I guess, since I got this mouse. I played some Warframe. This actually works well if I can just get used to it. Come here, let me beat your ass. Definitely playable, and it looks a lot better, actually. Very, very sharp. When I dive, I'll turn it down to like 1.5 and see how I like that. I'm sure I've got some crap enabled elsewhere that's way overkill. And I guess before we move on any further, this is the coolest setup ever. I love this thing. I paid $20 over what I could probably get on Amazon right now for, but it was there, and I said screw it, they're both here, I'll just go ahead and do it. So this mouse is charging from this mouse pad. How fucking cool is that? The surface is good. Of course, I gotta treat it a little better than most of the time I do with my other mouse pads, but yeah, it's a good surface. I really dig this mouse. It is it's a better shooter mouse actually than my G700S. Less so for productivity, but I don't even use that other mouse to its full capability anyway, so it doesn't really matter. And I was going to look into this later, but like I said, it was there, and yeah, it's great. It saves a cable because I don't have to have another one out for charging, and one for data. It does it all here. The Corsair equivalent isn't too bad, but I think it only charges when you like put it in the corner like that, whereas this is literally charging all the time. Of course, I turn it off when the PC shut down. So very cool investment there, and would recommend for any of you people who hate wired mice as much as I do. I can never. That's one hang up I can never get over for shooters. I've always had either a stationary ball mouse, which I got pretty good at with FPSs, believe it or not, or I've had wireless mice, and I think this is the perfect setup. Pricey, but very cool.